That's the Mr. Brando dance. Oh my gosh. Are you excited to be here tonight? I got my new peepers on. Got me some new peepers. I don't know if I cut for the pink interior. Hey, y'all. What's going on in her? Oh my gosh, man. Mr. Brando. Hey, Robert. Hey, Gil. Pastor, always a pleasure. Preacher, man. Babe and Hizzy. Bernadette Harridge. Good to meet you. Hi, everyone. Hi, John Sigmund. Hey, one of my friends, Simus Peeves, he got blocked. We need to see if we can get him unblocked.
Who?
Simus.
Simus?
We got to talk to Babe about
Z?
with a S or something. Simus. I'll show him on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me his name because I don't know. There's Seamus.
Not Seamus. Seamus.
Then there's Zymus with a Z.
With Zymus, yeah. That was one we were talking about before.
I don't know. But the other person that asked was a totally different name.
They never got unblocked. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and do our introductions. He just asked to be unblocked. He said whatever he did to deserve to get blocked. He wanted to be unblocked and would, you know what I mean? He was just trying to, state his case. You ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead and do your introduction. So let's do it.
I am April, baby.
I am Mr. Brando. And welcome to the status of the Iraqi Dinar IQD chat. And we still talk about world news everywhere. Now, very interesting week. So everybody, blessings and shalom. If you had a great Holy Week, please, I hope you did. Our Easter was wonderful. We did some wonderful things. And in those times of those, spiritual things, I mean, I think for us, what we kind of like to do is we kind of like to just be like around each other. We don't do a lot of social media at that time. We did post something from brunch, but we don't do a lot. You know what I mean? So if I apologize if I offended folks by not putting out like a happy Easter thing, but I just think those are times that should be spent with your family. And you guys are family, of course, but I just didn't want you guys to feel like there was some obligation for you to say something or for me to say something. You see what I'm saying? Like, just everybody just love one another and have fun with your families. April, you got anything to say this morning? I mean, this evening?
Mm-mm.
There is news. Now, you guys got to remember about news. So, April 19th came and went, and there was no other news about the ISX. I have not seen anything about ISX anywhere. Have you seen anything about ISX? I think it's very interesting that the ISX has fallen off the roadmap when it was such a prevalent thing a little while ago. Now, the other little thing that I thought was weeks and weeks and weeks ago, remember I told you guys about Gahandi al-Assadi? Remember I told you there was names that I had for the Interior Minister? I had names from the Interior and Defense that me and Mr. Frazier and Matakanos all got together. Oh, okay. Well, then you got blocked. I'll tell you why. You got blocked because you talked crazy to Babe. And I'm sorry, but you talk crazy to my admins or Babe or Dazer, anybody, you talk crazy to them.
I mean, I don't think he sees it, so it doesn't matter.
No, he'll see it later on. He will. He always commented after the fact to me later on.
Oh.
So he's blocked. He's blocked. I mean, he owes an apology. That's why.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm sorry. That's just I'm not gonna play games with grown people. And I understand.
But I told you he had done something. So
well, I actually just said I'm not gonna do that. I said,
what I'm saying is, if somebody gets blocked, they got blocked for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because it's different than a timeout. Let me say that. There's 300-second timeouts and then there's block. If you got blocked, you said something disrespectful, and disrespect is not tolerated.
Disrespect will not be tolerated on anything. Now, I told you guys about some names, and I told you guys about some prevalent news last Thursday. You guys gotta put together the pieces on this whole. There's a window for smaller categories in a bank. Okay. So imagine the bank that you go to today. There are no windows for smaller categories. Are no windows for larger categories. There's teller windows. They have basically automation windows. They basically have windows you can interact with the person or with a bank teller. So you guys can understand. In Iraq, for them to put a window together in banks in Basra and in Baghdad are just for smaller currencies. You got to understand that within itself is huge. Now, because they said the word facilitate, that has no forbearance on what's to come, if you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Facilitate just means to take care of the people that are at the bank with the smaller notes. Now, what they're doing is it's called conditioning. You're conditioning the Iraqi people that, A, the smaller notes mean something, and they warrant them being in a different place. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're not trash. They're not to be thrown away. There's nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? But just because it says facilitate, it doesn't mean anything. Now, you got to also understand, most Iraqis don't understand what fills are and lower notes. Lower notes being anything less than a $100 bill. I think Iraq is one of the youngest populaces as a country in the whole world, and one of the youngest populaces in the Middle East for sure. So those guys, they weren't around when their parents were in the Ba'ath era. You see what I'm saying? When Saddam was around, they don't know about those things. You see what I'm saying? So to have that by itself is alone a huge event. I told you guys that last Thursday. I think a lot of people are kind of just now catching up to it. Like, well, yeah, it's a big deal. Well, yeah, it's a big deal. They've never had those things. Coins are non-existent there, okay? I've tried to prove that they are. I can't, so I've said they're non-existent. Now, Abbas revealed in the news, now Abbas is one of these ministers, and he comes out every once in a while, and he's like, hey, look, we're cool with putting in the vacant ministers. 4 names were raised. The defense minister, regarding Ministry of Defense, it was Al-Shamari, Saad Harari, Hisham Dajan, Salim Jaburi, to choose one of those. And the interior minister was the guy that I told you that was going to win, Abdul Ghani al-Assadi. I didn't name a couple names. I told you that a few months ago almost now. I had a list of member interior. I had a list of the minister of interior, education, defense, and minister of justice. And so far, 2 of those names have played out as far as front running for their positions. But this minister came out and said, hey, look, where there's the differences between the reforms and these blocks, and we're about to say, okay, it's all good. We're going to let these names pass. And this is my whole thing. Those names were going to pass anyway. You see what I'm saying? So when everybody's fretting about is it done or not done publicly or privately, I don't think it really kind of matters. Once they put those names out there and we knew who they were by confirmed by someone who's in parliament all the time, that being Matak, I'm just telling you, it was kind of like for me like a sure thing. You know what I mean? So to see those names, especially for Zamari as the education, Asadi now for the interior position, and you guys got to understand, what's his resume like? His resume is actually not all that bad. The guy's a pretty smart guy. But most duly noted about this guy that I guess if you didn't know about him, his specialty is counterterrorism. I thought that was really interesting. The guy served, he's got a very big military background. He's from Yom Kippur War. He was in the Iran-Iraqi War, the Gulf War. He was in the Siege of Amiri, the Battle of Bahij, Kirkuk, Ramadani, Fallujah, and Mosul. This guy is a major force to be reckoned with, and he's a very highly decorated soldier in his own right. And he's the deputy force commander of the Marine and Coastal Defense. He's the military patrician commander. He's the director of Army Infantry. I mean, this guy is a modern-day Iraqi Rambo. I mean, I'm not saying he's just going to snap his fingers and kill you, but this guy he was born in 1952. He's 66 or 67. The guy is a counterterrorism service specialist. And you're going to sit there and say to yourself, well, why is counterterrorism so important? Because anti-money laundering is a big thing for these technocrats. And also, you would think that they'd want someone in there that has a terroristic background so they could identify these cells that are out there, like the new Iran Revolutionary Army, and they'd put a stop to them. So it's a big deal to have this guy in play, and I salute it, and I'm really happy that they're finally going to get these guys named. I'll tell you guys right now, Parliament's going to go ahead and reconvene and basically on Saturday, and that's why I keep telling you guys I'm not so much worried about the vote. I think these guys are pretty much already done. I don't really see it being a huge, big deal. You know what I mean? About these names. That's why I'm saying they're placeholders. They've already pretty much worked everything out. Friday. So I gave you guys Friday, Saturday. There was the removal of custom points in Iraq between the Iraqi cities and Kurdistan region has led to the increase in demand for Kurdish factory outputs. I think one major problem that you're seeing in Iraq right now is that Iraq is flooded with Iran goods because Mahdi went out there and put all these trades in place that allowed for the Iranians to go ahead and flood Iraq with goods and stuff. And that's why you saw the hold on the visas and stuff like that, because I think Mahdi played himself a little bit there. He was trying to secure the bag for Iraq and thinking that they weren't going to have enough products and stuff, that he wouldn't have enough trade favor with all these people in the country, and that he was basically going to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so you got to understand right now that they've got to trim the whole Iranian trade deficit. And that's why when you see all these memorandums of understanding opening up about Saudi Arabia in the 13 amendments, and the thing that I'm going to drop the bomb about those things, those guys doing all this in a few seconds is, I'll drop that in just a second. I don't want to give that one away. But I think Sauder's in the news again. Close at the Sauder named someone that he wanted to take over as the post of central bank governor, Sadiq Naim. And I looked him up on Wikipedia. I couldn't find any forefront news about him. Its integrity, noting that previously for the pleasure of running a number of positions, I thought since he'd run for a number of positions that he would have been a little bit more easily found. You know what I'm saying? If you Google or look up a few of these Iraq and Iranian public figures or politicians, they're kind of like rock stars. They have their own Wikipedia pages. I mean, they're well documented. I mean, all the way from former ministers of things to current ministers of things. You can pretty much find out pretty much what they're good or bad guys just by looking at them and looking them up. But this guy, I couldn't find a whole bunch about. Now, the thing that scares me about anytime that Sauder, remember, Sauder just wanted to get rid of Mahdi, right? Remember that? Sauder says he's going to get rid of Mahdi. Sauder was all ticked off about the green zone. He put that protest in place. There was 100,000 persons last Friday in the green zone. And there were 200,000 persons in the green zone. And they were just wreaking, not havoc, but they were protesting about some of the things, because I changed my position on Sauder about him being a good or bad guy. I'm not going to label him a good or a bad guy. I still think he's a bad guy, but he wants the reforms right now economically. And I think as far as I'm concerned, this being self-serving, I'm saying that I want the reforms done now also. So if Sauder's got to threaten, kick dust, protest, whatever he's got to do, I'm with you, Sauder. I'll start our own little protest if y'all want to. I'm ready to protest and kick up some dust myself. The government is moving towards a system in the borders to collect on electricity and taxes. They're streamlining some of the things that can collect more monies to add to the budget. I thought that important because they're going more digital. Anytime you go more digital, it kind of thwarps the whole idea that you can steal hand to hand, you know what I'm saying, or steal them from a bank. Good news for that. Maliki, Abadi, and Hakim cut off. It says 73 deputies and 3 alliances threaten to split from the blocks of building and reform. Amiri moves to defuse the crisis. And this is what I was telling you guys about Abadi and Maliki. They're splitting up. Like, they don't like each other. Like, it's a big deal. Like, I like this. This is like for real beef. Like, they don't like each other. They're talking about splitting up. Amiri's trying to keep the whole thing together because he's the president of the coalition. And Abadi is a member of it, and so is Maliki. I'd almost call them like VPs in such a way. I guess I could be wrong. Someone will probably correct me if I am. But the funny thing is they're unable to convince the stream of national wisdom and take his deputies to a new parliament they would trust. Nobody trusts Maliki. Abadi really is staying because he hangs out with these guys. So imagine me hanging out with like I'm trying to think. I don't want to name any names. I don't want to drop people in the grease.
Huh?
Okay, let's say me and Mr. Frazier are hanging out, right?
Uh-huh.
And me and Mr. Frazier and Daza. Okay, I'll just give us the three amigos. So we're hanging out. But Mr. Frazier's kind of a bad guy amongst the wives in the group, like, because he's a player. Mm-hmm. Or Peter. I'll do it like that, Peter. Okay? So all of us are hanging out with Peter, right? Uh-huh. And you're like, where are you going, babe? And I'm like, hey, I'm going out. Yeah. Right! You know what I'm saying? That's what people think about Maliki. And that's why when you guys sit there and entertain this, they've made like some truths or something's going on. I'm here to tell you, there ain't no truths. There is nothing good about that. and here's another article separating them, and they're going to take these seats and they're going to divide them, and it's going to cause major, not despair, but I think it's going to end up either helping Mahdi or getting Mahdi in a position where he can help himself and help the government. I still think Mahdi's for the reforms to this point. I just think that he's scared to act because he's afraid that Maliki's going to kill him and kill his family. The private banks. Now, a lot of people were speculating that you couldn't open up a bank in Saudi Arabia if you didn't have an international currency. Well, my whole thought process of that was, I bet you their deposits were all in Saudi Arabian money. You see what I'm saying? And you could order dinar because of the business practices, but it wasn't accepted, or it's accepted there because it's a dinar bank. But they don't have to be international. I could open up a Wood Forest in London if I met their criteria. Or I could open up a Chase Bank in Vancouver, British Canada if I met the criteria of that country. If I wasn't, or I could open up a Wood Forest. They're not international. I could open up a Wood Forest there as long as I met the criteria. You know what I'm saying? Their currency doesn't have to be international for that to happen. Did you have a question? Okay. They're complaining that the private banks are becoming parasites or places without credit. So the citizens now are saying that they want more products that the banks are going to offer, right? Which is really confusing because of Islamic law and the whole thing about interest and no interest. I don't understand how these banks are going to make money, but I guess if these guys are complaining about the smaller banks, you know what I mean? And basically, I told you guys earlier, Assadi has political consensus to take over the interior. I told you guys this months ago that this guy, he was going to do something, especially because of his background in counterterrorism. I knew that was going to be a big ordeal, right? Mm-hmm. Now, another thing that hit big news today, and I thought a lot of people were like, oh no, Barzani. You guys remember Barzani, the old head of the Kurdistan region, the older guy? He, and I believe a year ago, 2 years ago, started the referendum that the Kurds were going to break away from Iraq. Remember, it was a big deal. They had a vote. Like 80% of the Kurdish region voted to like disband or just disconnect from Iraq. They wanted to be their own sovereign nation. And this is what everybody blamed the RI or RV on a few years ago. Barzani is a thief. Do not get me wrong. Barzani and his family, they are a bunch of thieves. I don't care if anybody likes them or don't like them. They're a bunch of thieves. Well, anyway, Barzani is back in the news, and he's like, look, Iraq, you can't get it together, man. So I'm going to start my own little special thing. It was in 2017 when he did it. He goes, I'm going to start my own little thing, and I'm going to talk about disbanding again. I want to get away from Iraq. And you know what? It's simple. If Iraq would have simply gotten Article 140 done, shared in the oil revenues, paid the Kurdistans like they should have been, the Kurds would have still stolen that bad stuff because they're just like all the rest of the Iraqis in that whole corruption thing. I don't think they'd have been any better, but I'm telling you that I think that they would have been a little bit more passive to what's going on in the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have a question?
Yeah. Israel said, Mr. Brando, what's the update on the foreign currency and what might be the rates for different countries to India foreign currency and Indonesia foreign currency exchange rate?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. My focus isn't on those countries as of yet. And then Ezra, I can look at it later on. You know what I'm saying?
Then this one I think we talked about. Did you guys see the Iraq open a bank?
Yep, Iraq opened a bank. Yep. Okay, hold on. We got breaking news. Trump just sanctioned who? Trump just sanctioned Iran. Do you have? Well, I can't go with that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think the bombing in Sri Lanka affects us in any way, shape, or form?
No, Sri Lanka is its own sovereign nation. Sri Lanka stands on its own. Now, the whole bad thing about Sri Lanka is that it looks like, I don't want to misquote it, but the churches or the mosque or whatever that were targeted, it looked like Christian places of worship, so to speak. I don't know.
Well, and then I kind of heard on one of those news stations that they were thinking it was ISIS. So,
well, ISIS is pretty much gone. I mean, as far as in Syria, northern Iraq. So I don't think in Sri Lanka it would have been that massive of an issue. As far as what we're doing in our investment, no, I don't think it has a forbearance. Okay. I don't. U.S. Embassy says it will take a diplomatic measures against Iraq, that the violations. Now, this to me was huge news. Today, the United States took the position that Pompeo basically said that as of May, now quote these dates, May, basically you guys do any dealings with Iran oil, we're going to sanction you too. You're in trouble. We are here to basically monitor Iran, and we don't want nothing to do with that. So you guys keep fooling with Iran, and we will sanction you. Okay.
What was the breaking news again?
That the first week in May, they can no longer buy gas or any oil products. None of the countries got exceptions from the United States. So like China, anybody that does business with Iran, even for oil, that's huge. And I'll tell you why the first week in May is even bigger. Okay.
So if they can't buy oil or anything, what do they do?
What do you think they've been scrambling, running around to Saudi Arabia? Oh, wow, that's kind of unique. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and all these other places like that. Why do you think this guy won this little jaunt? Because Pompeo basically told him, we're not going to give you a pass. You got to figure it out. And guess what's coming? It's already April. May is next. What's after that? June. What are the hottest months in the desert? May to September.
Your Ramadan starts what, May 5th?
Ah! Somebody give Miss BB a gold star. Interesting point. First week in May is what?
Ramadan.
When is the last time you can buy oil from Iran? First week of May. So you don't find that unique that during the holiest of holy months, you've got to go out and find new trade partners to go work out this whole electricity grid problem in the first week of Ramadan?
That seems a little disrespectful. But okay.
Why? So you can't do business during Christmas?
Well, no. What I'm saying is they have to come to some sort of agreement before then.
Who does?
The people, like you saying, China won't be able to purchase, right?
China can't buy anything. Nope. But
So
more importantly to the Middle East, let's break it down for a second. So if I'm in China, forget me, but if I'm in Iraq and I'm buying oil or electrical products from Iran, and now I can't in like basically 3 weeks, and Ramadan happens in 3 weeks.
So they either got to stack up or they got to make something happen.
But what does that tell you about Ramadan? Business can still transpire during Ramadan because they're going to figure out something to get those people electricity. There's no way they're going to let them have the holiest of holy months and they can't handle electricity. How are they going to have dinner? They starve all day and then they finally get to eat at night. How are they going to cook dinner without, coal? What are they going to be doing it by candlelight? The city doesn't run that way. Here in Houston, all the restaurants and the mosques, they close basically all day, or they allow them to have services all day, and then at night, basically, they allow them to eat dinner. They open up early. They stay open from sundown to sun up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing there. But imagine not having electricity to cook everybody's dinner or restaurants to run. Okay? So now, let's keep going, okay? So you're saying, well, Brandon, why are you harping on that day? Like, that's stupid, the first week of May, okay?
Uh-huh.
We announced that there's going to be no more oil support. Because I will tell you why. This is the breaking news, and a lot of you are going to miss it, but I'm going to read it really slowly.
Okay, I'm listening.
Iraq-Saudi meeting in Ramadan to agree on the entry of 200 businessmen and more than $65 billion.
Say that again.
Iraq-Saudi meeting in Ramadan. In Ramadan. To agree on the entry of 200 businessmen with more than $65 billion. Saudi Arabia's top business people announced on Sunday that 200 Saudi business people were entering Iraq and the capital estimated more than $65 billion. Now that's USD. That is not dinar and it's not Iraqi money. That's USD.
That's what they said?
That's what they said. An agreement was signed between the Iraqi National Investment Commission and the Saudi Investment Authority to develop a roadmap soon. Soon meaning now. I'm sure there's not a translation for now. And is discussed at a meeting during the first week in Ramadan. So what happens the first week in Ramadan? April, baby, for your gold star twice.
They practice Ramadan. What you mean the first?
Okay.
The first week of Ramadan.
What gets cut off? This big Ramadan party, the 5th, that night, right? And you're going to have your roasted lamb, and you're going to have figs, and we're going to have dates, and we're going to sing songs, and we're going to light, candles and all this stuff. We're going to do fun stuff, right? But you go to show up, because my electricity got cut off. Oh, you ain't got no electricity. But isn't it just really unique that the first week, it says in Ramadan, that Saudi Arabia, who also provides electricity to
So they're coming to resolve the issue? Is that what they're coming for?
Pretty good guess. I'd say so, yeah. You get another gold star bidding. Okay. Do you get it now?
Mm-hmm.
I thought between now and I kept saying I wanted it now, right? Because I thought everything has to know about the 23rd, but now they're already telling us that the first week of Ramadan, May 5th, as important as right now, if they seat the government, you got to understand. Remember the thing they talk about replacing a lock. So think about it like this. Who is a lock? Ali al-Laq is the central bank governor. Ali al-Laq has been under huge scrutiny for sinking the $7 billion. Sadr wants an answer to that. He wants an answer to his name being on the currency. He wants an answer for that. All these people want his answer about Ali al-Laq. And Sadr says, well, I want his head. I want his job and I want his head. Right? Mm-hmm. So I've got a name to replace him. Now, the only way you can get rid of Ali al-Laq, they can prove if he sunk the money or stole it or for some other reason, blah, blah, blah. But now, this is the funny part, okay? The cabinet gets seated the 27th. So how many days from the 27th to the 5th of May? 8? Mm-hmm. Maybe 8, right?
It's 8.
So do you not think that Ali al-Laq, now this is two scenarios I got in my head. Do you think Ali al-Laq could flip the switch and say, screw you, I'm going to get fired anyway. I'm going to lose my job. I already put my name on the money. I'm going to solidify myself in Iraqi history right now and flip the switch. Because I am not proxy. I am the man. I've already proved I'm the man because I already put my name on the currency. So he's forever etched in Iraqi money forever. Do you feel me? Mm-hmm. If he's going to get fired by Sadr anyway, because Sadr already said that, I want his head, right? What would stop him from flipping the switch? He could just turn it on. I'm done. I'm done. I'm doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstate the currency. Why? Because Sadr wants it anyway. I'm gonna get fired anyway. My name's on the currency. I'm gonna go down in infamy as being the one person that did it. Not a body, not Sadr, not Maliki, not Mahandi, but me, little old me. Oh, I did it. Mm-hmm. He would be infamous in Iraq for the rest of his life. That's one scenario. Okay. Number two scenario is he gets fired and they run him off before they really can run him off, right? They get the new guy in there. They've got to do something before May 5th because they won't have electricity to do anything. A third of that country runs on electricity from Iran. So you've got between now and May 5th to get your crap together, or you're going to be in the dark during one of your busiest holidays. And you got the Saudis coming. You can't negotiate deals with computers and stuff. You ain't got no electricity.
Nobody want to be out there in that heat.
In that heat either. So what do you think they're telling you?
That's like being in. I'm trying to find out something. Metroid said that Safe Dinar is owned by the U.S. Treasury. And I'm like looking on the site,
No.
Metroid, I don't see that on here.
The U.S. Treasury can't own an exchange. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, it says Dartmouth Capital LLC.
Yeah, just look up Dartmouth Capital LLC. That's subsidiaries, and I'll tell you who's owned by what.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, y'all. So now we're at that time of the hour where you can call in, you can ask questions. Oh, okay. Well, Pimpe says that the people want him to call in. Pimpe, do you want to call in?
Oh, Steven, I have been looking at the cryptos big time. XRP. But you know what? This one guy, Crypto Crow, said we're gonna take a tank. We're gonna sink a little bit, and then we're gonna take off again. This is not the bullish run right now.
Okay, hold on, Lee. Hold on. I'm gonna say this about Mr. Crow. I don't care. I want to hear about Miss BB's crew advice on Miss BB's channel. I don't want to hear nothing ever about Crypto Crow unless Miss BB's giving me some advice. Because I just got me a Coinbase account. Okay.
Oh, did you get your free coins in?
I don't know. You have to look at it. Yeah, I tried to get me a Coinbase. Well, we're not doing that, so we're gonna stop. Anyway. No, stop. Okay. Everybody says they want Pimpe to call in. Pimpe, do you have any news for me?
Okay, so just let me explain what the conversation was within the group. So I looked up. Remember, I told everybody they should find out where their nearest exchange is, just in case, you know. Mm-hmm. I found out that my Wells Fargo, I have my mortgage through Wells Fargo, but I don't have an actual bank account. So when I went over there to ask them about their foreign exchange, they said, well, first of all, you have to have an account there. So I opened up an account. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the manager really good. He's a really nice guy. And I said to him, hey, here's the deal. I have the Iraqi dinar, and I explained to him what I was talking about. He knew. And I said to him, what is the process? So if this happens and we get the green light and I want to come to exchange my dinar at your branch, what do I need to do? Well, just so everybody's clear, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. At the moment, Wells Fargo does not sell or does not accept Iraqi dinar at the moment. What he said was they do other currencies, but he still took a couple minutes to walk me through the process. So this is what he said the process was. He said, look, if you come in here and you have a really large amount of money, make sure you get the bank manager's attention. I said, okay. He says, well, get my attention. Show me what you got. I said, okay. He says, they will then deposit the money into my account and they will do the conversion themselves. It's whatever the current exchange rate is at that time that I make my deposit, it then goes into my account. So it was pretty simple. It wasn't anything crazy, but I was just saying in the chat room, it was nice of him to take the time to do that. But I just want to make sure that people understand that this is how they do all currencies, not just Iraqi dinar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want them to think that they can rush down there now, because that's not the case. At this moment, I can't speak for all Wells Fargo banks. Where I live in California, at the moment, they don't sell Iraqi dinars and they don't accept Iraqi dinars for deposits. But again, he just wanted to walk me through the process, and I thought it was pretty nice of him.
Okay, so I asked Chase Bank in Humble the same question about foreign currency exchange, and they basically said the same thing. Now, they said that they did have a De La Rue machine at the main branch, which is somewhere at a bigger one downtown.
Houston.
And you are more than welcome to go down there for an instantaneous type of deposit. They were telling me that sometimes they have to validate currency if you don't want to do that. That's why people go downtown. But they were telling me that, like, I said, well, how long till the money clears? They said if you go through the De La Rue machine, as soon as it clears, it goes. Like, there's no.
Yeah, mine was right there on the spot.
Right there, like you deposit, and that's why you have to deposit it. Yeah, you have to deposit it because they're not going to give you that much cash.
Yeah, no, he said, well, what are your intentions? I said to put it into my account. He said, okay, that's different. He says, as soon as you put it in, it's real time. They do the conversion right there on the spot. So as soon as they're told they can accept the currency, it's no different than just depositing American dollars. You just bring that foreign currency in, tell them you're going to deposit it into your account. They will then do the conversion at whatever the current rate is at the time of your deposit, and they change it into U.S. dollars for you. Okay, so it seemed pretty simple, but they do this for other currencies. Now, see, people ask me, what are the banks? Well, I think the best thing for you to do is go on to Google and just say, you know, which places accept. I know Chase Bank is one of them, Wells Fargo is another one, but even our own little local hole-in-the-wall bank does the exchange. But what they do is they take the currency, and there's a small delay with them because they actually go through Wells Fargo. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to do that. I have an account. So yeah, and it was that simple. I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying, because I started saying, hey, I went to my bank, and I think Monica was kind of questioning what I was saying. All they were saying was, this is how you do it. They're not saying, hey, bring your Iraqi dinar down here. Heck, let's do this. No, he was saying, at the moment, once it is, this is all you have to do. And so that's what I plan on doing.
Okay, I had something I wanted to bring up too that I thought was really big. So think about this, Pimpe, and you think about this, and you kind of analyze this thought process for me, right?
All right.
Why would the banks tell the citizens right now that there are lower denomination windows, and that's just for those smaller transactions, and there's plenty of low currency to go around? Don't worry about nothing. That's one thing, okay?
Now, when you say citizens, obviously you're talking about the banks in Iraq.
Right. The bank is telling the citizen that, look, hey, look, I've got these lower denomination windows that are just for that. So if you want to go in there and get change, like for taxis or food or whatever, go in there just for that. So that's one thought, okay? And the timing of it in a newspaper article, right?
Okay.
Number two thing I want you to talk about is Ramadan being as big a holiday as it is.
Yes.
Do you think that that has any forbearance on them not revaluing their currency? Because obviously, if they've got business going on and stuff like that, I I don't see it happening for me, but I mean, could it? And number three thing I'd want you to kind of look at is the political mix-up with Abadi, Akeem, and Maliki splitting up that coalition. What do
there
those?
seems to be some lines drawn there. I noticed.
Yeah, do you see that?
Like, you see who Pompeo's reaching out to.
Well, they don't know. Who did Pompeo reach out to?
Not the one that's supposed to be wanted. You know these people's names better than I do. I don't want to hack them
Abadi?
Which Asadi, the nice one, not the Maliki, the one taken off to deal. The one, not the one that's dealing with Iran. The other one.
Right, you're talking about Abadi. Pompeo reached out to Abadi.
They spoke today, so just so you're aware. Okay, so real quick on a couple of things. The lower denominations. So here's my thought process on this. Could it be possible that they're only offering this, and are they offering this to the locals? Now, I can see a scenario in which they're doing that just to start getting the economy going locally, and they're just not sharing that outside of the country. I can see a scenario why they would do that. One is if they just started printing the lower denominations, maybe they don't have enough to share with the world, if you get my drift. Okay,
well, those lower denominations have been printed for years and years and years, so that's out.
Yeah, well, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they do away with them for a little while?
No, they did, but, well, okay, here's the funny thing about the lower denomination. It's kind of a funny thing you bring up. Remember, Iraq had lower denominations printed up with his name on it. The United States had lower denominations printed up like in 2013 or 2014. So there's been two batches of lower denominations printed in the last 6 years, at least.
Well, we saw that article. Even Eureka in your group brought this up. In the article, it mentioned there's 7 categories, and one as low as $250. I think even as low as $100.
No, as low as $5. I mean, $5 dinar. The lowest.
So the fact that they even brought that out into everybody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
I put in a group. My friend said, "Can you explain to me what it's like? What's the feeling?" Like I said, so imagine you're playing in the Super Bowl. Your team is down 5 points. You're on the 1 yard line. There's 3 seconds left in the game. That's what it feels like. We're so close. We are so close. And every day I keep checking the news, but it will drive you crazy. You know what I mean?
Reza said that Ramadan is on May 6th. I thought Ramadan started on May 5th at sundown.
Well, it depends on
what part of the world you're in.
Moon or how it casts, like how it shines. So it
thought
varies.
It was the first Sunday of the month. Maybe
it's not a solid day. They have a date in mind, and when they spot when the moon looks a certain way, they do it. I can't quite remember.
Okay.
Anyway, Sammy D wants to know.
Wait, I want to answer real quick if that's okay. Now, there was another question that Mr. Brando asked me about. How does Ramadan affect everything? Now, you do realize when it comes to the religion, anything that has to do with freeing the people or in wealth enhancement of the people, that is a green light. You could do that because it's all about it's a holy month. But anything where people could prosper from, there's always a green light for that. So what I'm saying is this: if somehow magically these guys get their crap together and they hold this meeting and they go, "Hey, by the way, even though it's in Ramadan, we're going to go and exchange the rates," that's still due. Because anything that benefits the people, because their whole religion is really geared around that, there's going to be green light. But do I think they're going to do anything? I don't. Not during Ramadan. I think they're going to use Ramadan as an excuse not to do anything, to be honest with you.
Point taken. What was the question?
So you had mentioned we'll know what we need to know on the 23rd. Sammy D wants to know, are you going to go live or tell us something on the 23rd, which is tomorrow?
I'm going to go live on the 24th because what I know is not earth-shattering. And it's something that we've talked about several times about the large institutions. Part of the problem with the large institutions is that they've set off one of the groups of the buying process. And I know you're not going to say absolute BS, Brandon, or Brando, whatever. You're going to say BS. I already got word from my contact, you know who he is, that they got set off a month. And they paid fees and there was regulations involved, but they wanted another certain trillion in an hour. Now, I will say this to you guys. I'll tell you guys everything that I can tell you on Wednesday. But I will tell you this, that there was another buy that these people paid a premium over and above what it would be in a pop. So one person bought it for one reason, one person bought it another, and these people, these were individual. Now the person that bought it individually did not buy as much as the large institution. They bought a lot, but not that much. It's a USD buy, like under, you know what I mean, $2 million. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't buy enough to be part of the other group's buy. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they bought it at a positive stripe on the currency value itself. It was
Just
not
for the
value
record,
negative.
Ramadan starts on Cinco de Mayo this year, May 5th. For the
Wow.
white people.
I'm sorry. What did you
May 5th is Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
We're having all kinds of Mexican food on Cinco de Mayo here in Texas.
God willing, there's a reason to celebrate on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, there's always a reason.
White people's independence.
I mean, 420 and everything. Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pepe, I got a dumb question. Something that's kind of been wrapping my brain for a couple days, right?
Okay.
Do you think with Saudi Arabia that they've already kind of made plans for the whole electrical grid thing, and they're just kind of not saying anything because they're trying to do something with Iran? Like, I mean, I don't know.
No, okay, but you're coming into an area that has caught my attention. For those of you who are not aware, Trump has cut off, even the waiver is going to be cut off here when it expires between Iraq and Iran as far as the gas is concerned and anything else that comes from Iran. Now, I can't imagine Trump doing this unless he thought there were things already in place. And I think that's why the waivers were there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why Saudi Arabia went over there when they did. But not just them. There's 3 different companies from other countries offering them to the electrical grid, alternatives to it. And I think that's why they were there. I think already in place before Trump made his decision to cut off Iran. By cutting off Iran, that puts a huge squeeze on them. But also what it does, it's going to force, in my opinion, Iraq has to revalue. They have no choice. By cutting off Iran the way they do, this doesn't help Iraq, and Iraq is going to be dealing with other countries as far as power or energy is concerned. Well, it's going to be a little hard to do if your currency at the time is, nothing.
Now, someone put in there, Ramadan is the 5th through June 4th. I agree. Down south, they celebrate something called June 5th, was a celebration of basically emancipation. Juneteenth. Yeah, the U.S. is, of course, forcing them to go at Delta with Saudi. Saudi's in the U.S. interest, so, of course, they're trying to do that. And Metroid is really smart. I know you know something about that thing he wants to tell me about.
What thing?
About that whole thing you just said earlier, Metroid. Because Metroid's smart about like that stuff. Metroid about what he was saying about them being owned by the Treasury. There's a reason why he's saying it. I cut him off. I don't know why, but he's saying it because he knows something he's not sharing with me at this moment.
Who's owned by the Treasury?
Safe Dinar, an exchange center.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hold on. Freddie MC says,
he said it was on the site, so that's why I went out there and looked.
Oh, it said bonded by the Fed. I think they have to be bonded by the Fed because they're buying currency from the Fed. It says, are other YouTube dinar channels fake or misinformed? I don't know what to believe. I'm lost. Freddie, well, if you're here, you're lost because you're trying to find someone that's telling you the truth. I would tell you right now that you can go and just base the news off anything you want. I got this conversation with somebody else. They sent me something from another YouTuber. And I was like, I'm not going to listen to that. And they were like, well, why not? What they're saying is what you're saying. Because if I'm trying to be a free thinker, if I listen to another thinker, what if I think like they do? And that's not my thought process. Now I'm trying to search for them for my next thought. Be a free thinker in this and do your own research, right?
That's the bottom line. You just hit it right on the head. And that is, it doesn't make a difference what YouTube channel you go to listen to. Don't get me wrong, I prefer you be here. But here's what I'm trying to say is, even we told you, we share our opinions on things. The best thing you could possibly do is go out and do your own research. This way, then, you can make intelligent decisions. I know a lot of times when we first started talking about the SBA, the IMF. We were sharing links, telling people go there, go
Yep.
look. We had that list of checkoff list. We told everybody. I remember you sharing in a group saying, "Do your homework. Go look these things up." That's the right thing to do, and that is force people to become intelligent about what it is they're doing, so that they can think about the right way in which they make the decisions. Now, if you're relying on people to tell you what to do, that can bring you into a world of trouble. That's how you can get caught up in these scams, like the Sterling thing. You know, you can get caught up because you're too busy listening to other people instead of doing your own research.
Okay, hold on. I got one right here. It says Iraq banks apparently have pulled in 3/4 of the dinar in circulation. They want the 1/4 left to coincide with smaller notes. B Tech, I'm sure he heard that from Mountain Goat. I saw an excerpt from somebody earlier that said something like that, and I disagree. When just a few months ago, the central bank said that a big chunk of their currency was out there under the mattresses of the Iraqi public. And you know what I'm saying? So it can't be both.
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other. And because you open up one little teller window doesn't make it right. You know what I'm saying? Or true. But I think that as the citizens gain to trust the banks more, you will see more of that. I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah, well, Iraq is one of the most corrupt countries in the world, unfortunately. And because of that, you know, burn me once, shame on me. I mean, shame on you, burn me twice. No, shame on me, burn me twice, shame on you. You know that?
You got to learn the song, man. Burn me once,
Good
man,
Lord,
shame
man.
on you. Burn me twice, man,
Yeah,
shame on
but
you.
it's still the same thing. And
Burn
that
me
is
3
it.
times. The peace signs. Roll it up, make a shame on you. I know J. Cole. You can't tell me nothing about this rap nut.
Oh, you should have seen the night me and him got drunk at all hours in the morning at a club. I was with him, Drake, The Dream. Oh, good Lord.
You were with J. Cole and the Dream and Drake?
Have you not seen my pictures on my Facebook profile?
I think they're all Photoshopped, so no.
Oh, wow. No. The funny thing is, and the sad thing is this, I have no clue how to Photoshop. So, regardless, they're not Photoshopped. I used to be a Hollywood party crasher. I crashed so many award shows, so many mansion parties. I can't even begin to tell you. My life literally is a walking book. So when people go, have you done this? Have you done that? I've been there, done that. I've been with this person. I've been with that person. You know, it's not so much that I run around and brag about it, but you know, the truth of the matter is I used to at one time be rich. I screwed it all off. I became homeless. I became rich again, and then I blew it all off. And then what happens is, you know what it takes to be rich again, but as you get older, it's not as easy as it was before. So I took that for granted, and I regret that. But, you know, along the way, you meet a lot of different people, just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you a ton of stories about me in Hollywood, but, you know, I don't want to do that here. But nothing on those are Photoshop, not a single one of them. And if you want proof, somebody actually already checked the photos because they thought I was kidding. And then they went on there and they said, no, it's one layer. I was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And they were like, I was checking to see if your photos were
Pimpe.
if they're fake. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to answer this call. Hold on real quick. I can merge them in, but hold on real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Call from Linda. To accept, press 1. To send
Hey, this is Linda.
Mhm.
Hey, Linda.
Yes.
Hey, Linda. What's going on?
Hey, I want to know about the green zone. Isn't that officially open or will be at the end of the month?
It's open now, Linda. You know that, sis.
No,
That's
I mean 24 hours. Is it going to be open 24 hours?
Good question. I thought it opened up 2 weeks ago. 24 hours,
Yeah,
I don't
It
know.
opened up, but
No,
I know
because
it
they were
opened up,
closed.
but
You're right. They were closed last Friday because of the protest.
right.
Good
So
thought.
are they going to be open? Are they going to be open 24 hours now?
They were supposed to be open 24 hours. That was what Mahani's wish was for this month, but I guess not.
Oh, so you don't think that the reinstatement will go before it opens? I mean, it stays open 24 hours?
No, I don't think that's a forbearance to me, Linda. I don't really think that. And I'll tell you why. Because if you have solidarity and you have all those other things going on, I just really believe that the green zone was kind of like when they opened it up and took down most of the pillars, that was really telling all the bad guys that we're out of it. We're done. You know what I mean? Like, it really had no big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it was over then. And they took down those last concrete bearings and they made that big to do about it, had the ceremony and everything. I think that's pretty much over.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off now.
Well, Linda, thank you. Is this my Linda J?
Yeah. Mr.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah. Don't say her whole government on here. You know we watch by the government.
It's in the chat.
Oh, never mind. Linda J, you know what I'm trying to say. Shout out to her for sending me all the articles.
Okay.
All right, dear heart. Thank you now.
You're welcome.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Linda sends me a lot of stuff on Twitter and a lot of stuff on Instagram too. Lee?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, Uncle Luke. So I got one more question.
Yeah.
And you know I'm going to ask you this question. So April's coming to a screeching halt. Ramadan's coming up. What are you thinking right now? Where's your mind at?
Oh my God, my mind is this. It's still going to happen. It just, you know, every fiber of my body says it's going to happen still in April. There's so many things pointing in that direction. In the worst case scenario, maybe the first week of May, but I don't want to keep changing my date because I look like a Democrat changing the goalposts all the time, but I don't want to do that. So my feeling is I still think it's going to happen in April. It's just, you know what, you're going to wake up one day and boom, it's done. Fanfare or anything. This is the month of prosperity. It has to happen this month. There's too many reasons why it needs to happen. I mean, you know, if it didn't, it isn't the end of the world for me because I know it's going to happen. But, you know, I really do feel like April is the month.
Oh, hold on. This person called earlier from Virginia. Let me see what this is real quick. Oh.
Call from to accept, press.
Sammy.
Is you live, whore?
What up, Sammy? I can't say that part. You can say it. I can't say it. Is you live?
There was a lady that came on here, and I remember I was telling you about the Green Zone a couple of weeks ago.
Yep, you did.
It wasn't open then. It was just open for the holiday. That was the only thing it was open for. But I believe it's going to be fully open on the 2nd of May because I saw an article about it.
Oh, you did? Okay, fully open on the 2nd of May?
Yeah, something around that time. I know it's the beginning of May. It's going to be fully open.
So how do you feel about the time frame between now and May 5th, sundown?
Well, you know, I've only been in this for probably 3 years. I mean, this is the most I've seen, you know, good news prior. The only thing I'm worried about is the corruption. I'm still worried about that part. I'm not going to say 2020. I believe it's going to happen this year. I pray to God so I can get away from this damn job. So I pray to God it does happen in a couple of weeks. But other than that, I mean, I don't even want to say to October. And I think the reason why the people say to October is because of the China and that whole coin situation thing. But I mean, as far as now, I mean, hopefully, I mean, I'm praying at least about 2 weeks from now. So or 2 weeks from now to 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll see.
We got 8 days left in the month.
All right, bro. Well, I'm going to let you go on that one. Thanks for the clear up, okay?
All right, happy Easter. Have a good
Happy
night.
Easter. Happy Holy Week,
Take
okay?
care, Sammy D.
Tammy, is you live?
Bye.
I'm not going to tell you who says that.
Oh, Sammy knows.
Okay, y'all. So we got Luther's pinpoint.
Uh-oh.
We got another call.
Mr. Brent.
To accept, press
That's
1.
Kevin.
To send a voicemail.
Mr. Wealth? Is that you, Mr. Wealth?
Hello.
Or is that Bob Dylan?
Right. I have a quick question for Mr. Brandon.
Shoot.
Go for it. You live. Hello. Uh-oh, we lost you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
can.
now.
Kevin, Mr. Wealth? Are you fading in and out?
The internet's trying to censor you, Mr. Well.
FBI on me.
Okay, they're about to get you.
What you trying to ask me? This keys and security codes?
He wants to know, do you accept BAT tokens? I told him.
No.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know what tokens are.
You take BAT, we'll take XRP, we'll take Bitcoin, we'll take Litecoin.
Oh, well then yes, I do.
Can you hear me at all?
No.
You fading out. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, can you call me like on FaceTime or something?
Yeah, I will. I'll call you on FaceTime. Let me answer this call. I'll call you on FaceTime.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Call Kevin on FaceTime real quick. We'll call him on your phone.
To accept, press 1.
This is from PDX. This is from the home of the rocks. Hello?
Mr. Brando, Miss Phoebe,
Hey there. How are you doing?
it's Robert.
I know it's you, Robert. What's going on?
I just wanted to call you. I heard Pepe putting in his 2 cents, so I had to put in my 2 cents real quick.
Go for it.
Bring it, Big Daddy. Bring it.
I'm thinking 2 things, 2 other major things happened over the weekend. Every piece of the puzzle has to be in place for this to happen. Not only Iraq-wise, Iran-wise, all their neighbors, but all the major players have to be in place. I think, my opinion, Sri Lanka wasn't playing ball. Their main religious sect, I believe, is Buddhist.
Say that one more time.
Bliss?
I believe their main religious sect is Buddhist.
Buddhist.
Right. And they're a big part. There's a whole nother book that I can get into you with on the history of where everyone was placed around the world for all these banks and all this financial system to work in conjunction with each other. So I think Sri Lanka was a warning, and I think that the other part of this is everybody's got to get along. Everybody's got to get on the main playing field because on the same playing field, because you've got Russia that's going to the gold back, you've got China that's going to the gold back, and what just happened in Ukraine?
What happened?
In Ukraine.
A comedian got elected.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
So we all know that everybody has a boss. Let's just put it that way. Everybody has a boss. So who's his boss? And then are they going to say, hey, guess what? We're going to be on the same playing field for a while, because that puts everybody in line, everybody in congruency for some kind of reset.
Robert, very
Now, my
interesting.
other question is,
Uh-huh.
on the other part of that is, when the reset happens, is it only going to allow the sovereigns of the sovereign countries to be able to take advantage of that revaluation? I don't know.
Only the sovereign of the sovereign?
Only the sovereigns.
Yeah.
Nations.
Yeah, only the sovereign. I mean, no, I don't think only the sovereign. If it's internationally recognized, it'll happen. Meaning that if the world's reserve currency is USD. So if you trade USD in Tahiti and you're a sovereign country and you don't want to deal in Tahitian money, but you guys trade in USD somehow, some way, and you have some currency reserves, you can get USD out of there. You file a bank account, you can get it. That's my point.
Right. Well, I like I said, I think 2 major events happen, and I think they happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it all plays a major part in the entire. I mean, you've got to learn to add before you can learn to subtract. This whole puzzle has to be in place perfectly before anything can actually take place. And every time I turn around, not only have all the benchmarks
completed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like now we have subpart A, subpart B of each benchmark that's come to completion. That's coming to fruition. So we had the hypothetical question of Pimpa and I and all four of us, if we had
Right.
$1 million to bet when this was going to happen, hypothetically, we're the month of April as being the month of wealth, looking pretty good, I think.
I agree with you, brother. Hey, I got to call Kevin back. I appreciate your call. Shout out to Matrix Portfolio in the house, all the way from my hometown, from the Couve. Appreciate you, big dog. We'll talk on Wednesday, okay?
You bet. You guys take care.
All right, now.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, let me see.
Here.
Well, he wanted to FaceTime.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin, you're on the air.
Hey, I just had a quick question for the both of you guys.
Shoot.
Okay. Well, I'm growing very impatient with my Iraqi dinars. I've invested into this Iraqi dinar for the past 10 years. No RV has happened. I'm this close to each and every one of my dinar notes. And I wanted to ask Mr. Brandon his own self, should I burn my dinars?
No, you should mail them to us. I'll give you our P.O. box.
Okay, cool.
And that'll be my birthday present.
Oh, of course. Yes, happy birthday, April.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, if you're going to burn your dinars, would you do this for me first?
He's not going to burn. He's going to give them to me as a
I
gift.
know, right? I was going to say give them to April as a gift. And then as also a gift, I want you to do a voiceover for me for my new play that's coming out soon.
Play?
Yeah, I have a play.
Wait,
I'm
are
running a
you
play.
serious?
Yeah, I'm running a play.
Oh, okay.
It's called My Dinar Life.
My dinar life. Oh, my gosh.
You will play me. Your voice will play me. And I'm doing it all by anime. So we'll talk about that later, okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you,
Alright,
Mr. Well.
XRP.
XRP. You guys, we have gone over and above. Think about this. I think a lot of people are missing this whole May 5th. The sanctions are coming up. The Saudi businessmen are coming in. There's a lot going on in May that no one's talking about. No one's talking about the splitting of the factions of Hakim Assad. I mean, Abadi and Maliki.
Would Babe know if the IXX
Was live?
launched?
Oh, yeah. Babe would know if the ISX was live.
Babe, can you call us real quick? Because we got a lot of people asking about that. I'm just curious. They asked that question, did it launch?
No. I
It
tell you,
didn't?
I didn't launch.
Oh, okay. So she would know, though, right?
Babe would know.
Okay.
Babe, you want to call? If it was live, trust me, I can tell you.
Fred said to get you some gum and have you to stop vaping. It's really
Tell
bad
Fred.
for your health.
Tell Fred, I'm taking the wheel.
Oh, El Hello said you can get at Chase Bank, you can get Dom $1 million for $50.
You get it for $45 a few weeks ago.
Okay. Either way, I'll take it. I'm here for it.
Michelle says happy birthday.
Thank you, Michelle.
I don't know how many people are live right now. Do you know?
It was 510. I'm not sure now. I lost count.
Well, guys, we're going to call it a night. Wednesday will be a big show because we're going to tell you guys why the large institutions.
533.
Okay, there's 535 right now. So you guys have done an excellent job tonight. I know some of you guys didn't like all the crypto stuff. Watch out for April BB's channel about Crypto 101. Beginners like me, I started, got my Coinbase opened up today, so she's gonna help you do that.
Voicemail, press 2.
And we'll
Hi,
go.
babe.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Hey, babe. Is the ISX open? Can I quit my job today?
Well, the ISX is operating in Iraq. But if you're talking about being on the Forex yet, I haven't seen it.
You there?
I'm there. I'm right here. But you hadn't seen anything about the ISX. Mark, hold on. Mark said, what happened at the end of the month being the time it had to happen because of the start of the new year? That was never discussed, Mark, like that. No.
What?
That the end of the month was it had to happen because of the end of the new year. I never said that. You never said that. But babe, so to your knowledge, it's not, the ISX is not open. It's not doing online trading.
It's operating in Iraq, but it's not on the Forex. I mean, on the NASDAQ yet.
Right. So it's not open yet.
Correct.
You're awesome, babe. You need to go to sleep. You got to get up early, girl.
I know it, though. Good night.
Good night. All right, y'all. So we're going to sign off. Everybody have a great night. And we will talk to you guys mad love and peace and hair grease. And I will look up the dinar. Well, not the dinar. We'll look at the ISX. We'll look at what other things we're talking about the first week in May. I'll try to see if there's some symbolism there. We'll just look to see what's going on in the world. And you guys have a great night. And I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Signing off.